Okay, so this is a system. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so this is the actual heat pump unit. So the compressor that is connected to the loops will extract heat in the wintertime from the fluid that's being pumped in from the outside. And in the summertime, it will take heat out of the house, and the fluid will then go through the loops and be cooled again, and then cycle through the process to give us the cooling in the summertime. So you can see the loop comes in and out through these tubes, but they come out of the heat pump unit and then go over to the wall. There are two pumps on each tube that keep the fluid flowing through the loops. We have two 400-foot wells, and so our total loop length is about 1,600 feet. It runs, it's not running right now, but it's over the 22 years, it's been almost maintenance free. We do have it checked every 2 or 3 years. We change, it's an air system, so we change the air filter regularly every 3 months. And the only repair that I think we've had in the 22 years was a relay switch that really hadn't failed, but the technician who checked the unit felt it was time to replace it. So what's happening here is all moving heat from the earth into the house or vice versa. There are times, depending on the conditions outside, that the heat pump needs some added boost separate from that loop process. And in our case, that boost comes from our hot water heater. So you can see this plumbing comes out of the hot water heater, enters the ductwork above the geothermal heat pump. Inside is a heat exchanger. So the hot water from the hot water tank cycles through that heat exchanger, and the air being pumped into the house is then boosted in heat to give more heating capacity. The other times where we will use this backup system is if we lose power, because in the event of a loss of power, our generator can't power the heat pump, but it can power the oil hot water heater. And so the system then takes over, the backup system takes over, and our house is kept warm, even if we are out of electricity. There's really not much more to talk about. I guess the only other parts of the system are the humidifier, which is mounted up on the ductwork above the heat pump. That's this unit here. And then the heat pump itself will dehumidify in the summertime when it's humid, and the condensate will come down, be put into that little pump down on the floor, and it pumps the condensate up through the basement and out into the septic system, and that then gets rid of the condensate that accumulates.
I would just add one thing, that we only need a boost to the geothermal system from the oil hot water heater when it's extremely, extremely cold out, like below 0 Fahrenheit.
I would say it's not just, if it depends on conditions. If it's calm outside, then it's probably, the temperature has to go down around 0 for this backup heat to be needed. If it's 10, 15, 20 degrees with a 30-mile-an-hour wind outside, then the backup heat may kick in on those occasions too. But what we've observed is that what happens is the backup turns on for 2 or 3 minutes and then goes off. So it's not like the backup is needed on for a lengthy amount of time. It's usually just gives it a boost, an occasional boost, when the heat pump itself is not maintaining the temperature we've selected on the thermostat. But yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, for all our hot water usage and all our emergency backup heating, I've been saying we use about 200 gallons of oil a year for all of that. And it's, in fact, for the last almost 10 years, it's been more like 180 gallons, something less than 200. So it's really still an amazing decrease in the amount of oil we use. In a previous question, I think I said we were saving about 900 gallons of oil, and so it's probably that, possibly slightly more.